Hi, as you can see, I've gone ahead and we've logged back into our VMware workstation, and as you can see, we've got ESXi up and running. So in order to access ESXi, we need to do that via a web browser. So I'm going to grab this IP address here, this 192.168.74.129. I'm going to paste it into a web browser and actually open up ESXi. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a web browser. I'm going to go ahead and paste that IP address in and press enter. I'm going to go ahead and log in with my username, which is root, and I'm going to log in with the password and press login. And as you can see, we are now logging in to the ESXi interface, and in this console, this is where all the hard work is done. So I'm going to click on storage, and you can see there's our first data store that we created, and obviously it's not big enough to install Windows, so we will go and create another data store and add it in there. So I'm going to go ahead back to the host, and I'm just going to walk through and just explain to you some bits and pieces about the console before we get started. As you can see, in the host section, we can connect using vCenter, we can create a virtual machine, we can shut down the host, reboot the host, and we've got a wide range of actions that we can do as well. We can do the same thing as well: register the host, shut it down, put it in lockdown mode, generate a support bundle, get SSH for Chrome so that we could SSH into our ESXi server. Of course, we can manage it by coming into the manage section, and we can see the type of hardware we have. We could go ahead and add a license. As you can see, this is in evaluation. And if you remember in the PowerPoint slide, I spoke to you about the vSphere and ESXi. So you can see there's a lot of features that will become available depending on your license, especially when you're upgrading from ESXi to vSphere. You can see here we've got different packages assigned to it. We've got different services, and of course we've got security and users. And this is where we can go and add in our users, add in different roles, so that we can allow people to access our ESXi server. Again, if I went into licensing, click assign license, I could go ahead and paste in my license, and this will upgrade ESXi to vSphere depending on your license, or if you've got an ESXi license, it will then just keep it at ESXi. And it's really great that VMware give us this license for free. If I move over down to my storage, this is where we would go and add different storage data stores to allow us to create our VMs. We could add a new data store here. We can have a look at the adapters that that have been created for us and the different devices. As you can see, we've got a VM local disk, and that's 20 gig. Again, coming down into networking, we can kind of see our network groups. We can see our virtual switches. We could add switches, remove switches. We could see our physical NICs, our kernel NICs, our TCP/IP packets, and of course we can go ahead and see some firewall rules for us. So again, this course is designed to give you a basic understanding of ESXi. It's designed to get you as a new user up and running. So the first thing we want to do in our ESXi host is we want to go ahead and we want to go to data stores, and we actually want to upload an ISO to a data store, because we need to have that ISO uploaded, otherwise we won't be able to access our virtual machine. When I mean access our virtual machine, let me rephrase that. We won't be able to install an operating system on our virtual machine, sorry. So we need to go and add the ISO. So again, we could click on your data store over here. We could select the data store, and we could say browse the data store. And I can browse this data store, and as you can see, I've got nothing in here. I'm going to go and create a directory by clicking create a directory, and I'm going to just call this directory ISOs and click create a directory. Now I'm going to click on that directory, and I'm going to go and upload some Windows ISOs that I have. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to browse to my C drive, and I'm going to browse to my Udemy. I'm going to select the Windows 10. I'm going to click OK, and as you can see, this is now uploading that Windows 10 ISO file. And in the real world, this is what we would do. We would create a little partition or a little space, and we put all of our ISOs in there. And you can go one step further. You can actually organize it saying Windows ISOs, Linux ISOs, Mac OS ISOs, and you can even go further and say Windows desktops, Windows servers, and you could put the different operating systems in there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to upload our ISO into our data store. So we'll give that a few minutes to load. Normally it'll take about a minute or so. As you can see, it's loading very, very quickly. So we'll just wait for that load to complete. And also, if you're wanting to find out where I got the ISOs from, you can download the ISOs from Microsoft or from Linux. So let's go ahead and add a Linux ISO. So again, click the upload button here. I'll select my Linux ISO, and the moment I select it, it'll automatically go ahead and upload that ISO into that data store. And as you can see, that data store has my Windows 10 versions, and again, you can upload 64-bit versions, 32-bit versions. That's the cool thing with running virtualization operating systems or platforms, is you can run old legacy systems as well as the latest and greatest systems out there. So again, we'll just give this about a minute or so to load, and then we will move on with the lab. And as you can see, it's almost done. It didn't take too long to complete. So we can see we've got our Linux ISO and our Windows ISO. I'm going to go ahead and click close, and then I'm going to go back to my host. And what we want to do now is we want to go and create another data store. So that completes this lab, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lab, where we will actually add a data store to our host so that we can actually install a Windows operating system or a Windows VM. I'd like to thank you for viewing, and I look forward to seeing you in the next part of the lab.